Streaming. Okay, so streaming is started. I should come on here live pretty soon. Yep, there I am. I'm going to just see, make sure the microphone is good. Yep. All right. It looks like everybody can see and hear me. Let me adjust. Everybody, we'll get started in about 5 minutes. Just want to test everything out, getting the presenters on. So today is the roundtable discussion. So if you would like to share, I'm going to go get the link here for everybody. If you would like to share, I'm going to copy link address. You can jump on to this link. Make sure you have a headset and microphone. There we go. All right, that's the link for anybody who wants to jump on and share with us. And I'm just doing more testing here. My face is kind of pretty, desaturated. So let me see if I can saturate. Go to my video capture. I think it's properties. If I go to my video configuration and let's see if we can increase some saturation there a little bit. There we go. And it's a little bit no, the lighting is not all that great today. White balance, let's see. It's not working. Camera controls white balance, contrast, brightness, saturation. Got a little bit of saturation. Got a little bit of color in my face here. Let's see what else I can do. I can probably go over and go to my filters and see. I've got chroma key and color correction. There we go. So if I bring the saturation up, there we go. Yeah, that's a little bit too saturated. Look at those lips. All right, okay, bring it down. There you go. Hey everybody, Nicker 3D. Hey, how you doing? Okay, I think that'll work. Let's see. Maybe now that I've done that, go to my. I didn't want to do that one. Configure video. Maybe I'll bring the saturation down just a tad on the other device. There we go. Okay, that's a little more natural. Hey, Bernie Bean, welcome. Hello. All right, let's see who's all here. We've got Bernie Bean, Buster X66, Grandmaster Zach, John Marchand. Hey, John. Katie Lady Assassin, welcome again. Nicker 3D, welcome. Parsons 2018, welcome. SD Gift, welcome. Virgin Pie, our very own new tech programmer Ken 9 is here. So this is the new tech. Well, this is the LightWave 3D roundtable discussion. Everybody knows what that means. That means anybody can come on and share anything you want to share. Okay, so now if you want to come on live and share a technique or a project you're working on, or a new plugin or something like that, I'm going to give you the link. I'm pasting it again in the chat box. And there you go. So you've got 3 hours with Steve and other guests. All right, so we're about 2 minutes shy of starting, so I'm going to let everybody jump in here. We got more coming in. Dreddy3, welcome. Earl Henson Jr., welcome. Hey. Let's see, I think I said hello to everybody else. They're slowly coming in. We usually get upwards of about 50 people or more, but we'll see. See today. So how's everybody doing out there in this whole quarantine? Hope you're getting out of the house and getting some exercise, keeping your immune system strong, keeping your body strong. Andy Uno One, hey, how you doing? We've got, in a few minutes, we're going to get started here. We've got Dave Gifford, because everybody's been talking about Octane for LightWave, right? And we've yet to have anybody actually present it. So my friend Dave Gifford, he's the gentleman who presented to you guys last week, if you remember. He, hey, Parsons 2018, hello, good to see ya. I figured, you know what? Let's do something on Octane as a nice little presentation thing for the LightWave discussion group. So everybody's been raving about it. I know that Kelly Myers haven't particularly embraced it, but I keep hearing about it, and I'm hearing from other Lightwave artists that it's a pretty nice addition to your Lightwave package. So I figured this would be a nice opportunity to share. Okay, so Andy Uno One says he loves Octane, but also like the new render in 2020. Ooh, now I do not have 2020 just yet. I'm hearing some good stuff about it. I'm hearing some good stuff. I'm excited to hear what Dave Gifford has to say about the render and the new render in Lightwave. Excited about that. Essence, welcome, man. Great to see everybody here. All right, one more minute, we'll get started. Yeah, the chat room is filling up, and or slowly filling up.
I haven't picked it up yet.
You haven't picked it up? Neither have I. So I'm pretty excited. It looks like the new company is really making improvements upon Lightwave. So that's very, very good to see.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a very, very good thing to see. Okay, so let's see. We're still waiting for what we're hoping that our other presenter will come on. Let me see. Where is he here? Let's see if he's even here. Okay, so we're hoping. Go to my chat box. That Chilton's going to show up today. Had a little problem with the audio last week, but hopefully we'll have that corrected. So hopefully he'll jump on today. He might be a little gun shy. I don't see him on the chat list here in Adobe Connect. Okay, cool. All right, so Neon Effects. David Glenn, welcome. Hey, Nightwolf, welcome. I'm gonna get the bars here. Working with the trial. All right, so Neon Effects is saying he's working with the trial version, hoping the NRC is more stable this time. Andy Uno says, I mainly use Octane for speed, but was able to get pretty quick render times in 2020. Ooh, so new tech has addressed the speed issue. Interesting. That's good to hear. That's very good to hear. Hello, Lucian Pelucio, 1967. Great to have you. Okay, so I tell you what, why don't we go ahead and get started? Welcome everybody to the Lightwave Roundtable discussion. Now, here's the deal. And DeSolia, welcome. Okay, DeSolia just mentioned that they just bought a 2020 upgrade, but haven't had much time to play with it yet. Okay, I'm really interested to hear everybody's. So far, what I'm hearing from people who've been playing with the new 2020, and I've been trying to get Deuce to get on to present, but I'm gonna try to get Deuce and or Ken 9 to present the new features. Maybe Ken and I will tackle it together for our next Lightwave meeting, official Lightwave user group meeting. I'll talk to Ken. Ken's on with us, so be nice. Because the new tech police are here. Okay, so hearing a lot of good things about 2020. I'm hearing that the render is a lot faster, and compared to Octane. So I think new tech is taking that seriously. They're looking at their competitors out there, particularly with rendering. And rendering is like the key problematic issue in our 3D universe is how quickly you can just render something out, pop it out for the client to see in a very timely basis. So if this render is really speeding up, getting close to what Octane is getting, then there's no reason for us to have Octane anymore or anything else. And I'm hoping New Tech is seriously taking that into consideration, and tackling that issue. John Merchant says 2020 tone mapping is great. Oh, this is wonderful to hear. John, hey, do you want to do a little demo on that? I mean, you want to jump on and just show some stuff that you worked on in there. I'm gonna post the link to the. I'm just put it into the chat box, everybody. I post a link if you want to jump on into Adobe Connect, have a headset ready. John, that would be great if you be willing. I mean, this have to be. If this is all informal. This is the roundtable discussion. This is all informal. You just come on and just say, hey, try this, try that, whatever. Whether you're familiar with it or not. Personal 2018 says seems light on the surface, but when you get into it, there's a lot they've added. Okay, so far I'm hearing positive stuff. David Glenn says I only been messing with the 2020 for a day, but I posted some pictures on Facebook group page. Make sure you guys did you post it on the LightWave users group Facebook page? Make sure you guys do that. Any new stuff that you're doing, any projects that you guys are working on, put it on the LightWave users group page. In fact, I'm gonna go get it real quick. Let me go to LightWave. I'm in Facebook right now. Actually, I'm gonna go over to Facebook real quick. And LightWave users group link. Okay, so come on. Oh, there we go. All right, so go to LightWave users group. Click on the link. Let me go get the direct link. So if any of you did not know this, let me go back into our Twitch chat box here. There we go. And this is our official Facebook page. I'm typing it into the chat box now. So if, again, John, it'd be great if you want to come in and show some of the tone mapping stuff. Don't have to, but I gave you the link there. So, Bernie Bean says, compared to Octane, I find that hard to believe for me because I rely on GPU rendering for faster work. I've just got a new system with I think it's the RTX 2080i NVIDIA. So it's capable of doing a lot of onboard rendering. So that would be very, very helpful. So are you saying that the new version 2020 LightWave is not really addressing GPU rendering? I'm kind of curious, Bernie. Okay, Nigger3D says, I upgraded to 2020 and really like it, except there are a few bugs with the new render engine and VPR that need to be fixed. I will have to do a few bug reports. Absolutely. Do those bug reports, get them on in. Deuce and Ken are all standing by to receive all the information. Let's see. John Merchant. Okay, so John Merchant mentioned add in VPR. Right. Okay. All right. Very good. Let's see. Pixelati, welcome. Hey. Is mentioning it seems like a lot under the hood stuff was added for the foundation of the next wave of changes similar to the 10 upgrade. Very good. This is good news. I'm glad to hear this. Andy Uno 1 says it's still not as fast as Octane, but for a CPU renderer, I'm going to get good results. Okay, so I'm assuming you're telling me, and please confirm it, that LightWave is not taking fully advantage of the GPU. It's still relying mostly on CPU. It should be doing both. John Marchand mentions, what was that? Dave?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so it's still relying on GPU.
That's correct.
Okay, all right. So can I compare Octane and native LightWave is not GPU? Got it. I understand. John Marchant's confirmed. Okay, it's not, and also Dave is just confirmed. Andy Uno 1, no, it's still CPU. That's right. Okay. Bernie BN, LightWave still doesn't rely on GPU, but most of its rendering, but it's good, but it's doing better in eliminating fireflies. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. That's what I want to hear. Okay. Positive feedback on this new upgrade. This is good to hear and good to see. All right, I guess we're going to get into our presentation. Oh, we have a long list of people on here. Boy, everybody's jumping in. As I keep these things going on a regular basis, we can. I guess we're gaining more participation, and we're gaining more eyeballs here. So yes, Dave Gifford's going to be presenting. Or are
Hello.
you talking to David Glenn here? He's been using LightWave. Okay, so David Glenn mentions that he's been using LightWave 2019 Modeler for creating objects for your game in Unity. You know what, Dave Glenn, do you want to come on and share? This is the Lightwave Roundtable discussion. Just come on and share. I'm going to type that link if you want to jump live into Adobe Connect. Oh, that's the user groups link. Let me go get the other link. Sorry about that. And the Lightwave groups, and we're going to get Dave going here. All right, I'm trying to copy the Adobe Connect link here, but things are jumping around on me. Okay, that's Lightwave users, and let me get the link for you to log on to Adobe Connect. All right, there we go. So I'm going to drop it down here, and off to go. So if you want to jump on anybody, if you want to jump on Adobe Connect, that's the link. Have your headset ready. I'll make you a presenter. If you get in there and Dave is presenting, just hold tight because I'm going to let Dave finish up before I bring you on board. Okay, so Dave Gifford, everybody, he's going to share some of the Octane for LightWave features and capabilities. Thank you, Dave, for doing this for us. I know you're a
Pleasure.
busy man. It's like,
Greetings,
oh my,
greetings, LightWave users.
yes, hey. So I'm going to bring up Dave's picture and turn mine off. There we go. All right, Dave, take it away.
Well, hello, guys. If you've been using Octane a long time, you're probably better than I am. I just started using it about a month ago, and the reason I'm using it is for speed, and I wasn't disappointed. I haven't been able to use the new LightWave renders from 2018, 2019 for speed issues with my kind of turnaround I need for my business. So I decided to give Octane a try. I probably should have tried it a long time ago. So I demoed it for a week and finally picked it up, and it's been very pleasurable, easy to use. I'm not that sophisticated, so I found it actually easy to use. I was able to produce a couple animations right off the bat with it, got good results, and the speeds are absolutely amazing. If you can invest in a multi video card setup for your computer, then it's absolutely amazing. So so here I have 2019, and if you look at the top, there's an Octane tab here. And please chime in if you see me doing something that you want to expand on, or something that I'm doing wrong, and you're an Octane user. Let me know, please. Do you want to say something, Steve?
No, you're good.
Okay. So one of the things I wanted to show you is that I thought was interesting is for multi-GPU systems, it allows you in the options for Octane to set a priority for your video cards. So you can tell it to use a lower priority for render, maybe for the card that you're using to display all your monitors. So if you have a multi-monitor setup, you can use a lower render priority to ease the burden that you're putting on the particular card that you're using for rendering. So you can kind of work to figure out which card is in your system is taking care of your monitors, and you can set a little bit lower priority for that. I found that it helps to control the heat on the cards, and even the heat exchange out for the different cards. I've also been monitoring the heat output on the cards. They get warm, but so far haven't had anything go beyond the recommended limits for the cards. And I've been able to render scenes that were absolutely full of polys, lots of trees, vehicles, big environments, and I haven't gotten far over 1 minute per frame renders. So the speed is just phenomenal. So what I did was I just loaded up a car here, and we're just going to go over some basic Octane stuff. So by the way, a lot of the information that I gained from on how to learn the software, Lino Grande has some tutorials. There's some other great tutorials in the LightWave Octane YouTube stuff. You can just do a search for Octane for LightWave, and you'll see some great tutorials there. And I'm going to probably cover some of that, but hopefully hit on some new things as well. So the first thing you do once you get Octane Render installed and you want to actually use it is you have to enable the plugin. So right here we enable Octane, and we can go ahead and bring up the IPR, which is their version of VPR, their interactive preview render, and we can size it. The nice thing about this preview render is you can use it interactively like you would be maneuvering around in the layout interface. So up here you can set it for, instead of camera, we're going to go to perspective view, and now you can use all your LightWave keystrokes to look around your scene. And you also have a target option there as well, which is great. Something 3D Studio Max does not have. So so here's our car, and this is non-Octane textures at this point, and we obviously have no background lighting. Octane is a GPU render, so it basically has some global illumination going on from the get-go. So we'll leave that up, and the first thing I want to show you, something that is also covered in the LightWave tutorials, is the core of the Octane setup. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the render target and open the editor for the render target. So this is kind of the core of the system, the initial setup for Octane. So this is where you're going to set your type of lighting you're going to use, whether it's direct lighting, path tracing, and over here on the left you'll see that we have a series of Octane nodes or folders for nodes that have been added once you install the software. So on the render target, you open that up, and we've got some different functions here: baking, camera panoramic, thin lens. We've got some different environmental functions, an imager, render passes. So this is all for camera function and lighting function. You're going to find some different options here. So I've set up some here. Your kernel for direct lighting is going to control. If you look to the right over here, you'll see you have your samples. So if we set the samples way down and we do a redraw or maybe even a reload. Redraw doesn't work, you do a reload, which just reloads the object. Oh, I'm going to plug this in. So this is the lighting kernel. Plug that into the kernel. There we go. So you can see we have a really grainy image. So we can start to boost our samples. And already at just 50 samples, we're getting a much cleaner image. Still quite a bit of grain in there, but easy to take care of. We'll go to 100. And you'll see it clean up a bit more. And you'll notice that set to full screen. Are we good, Steve, on the full screen?
Yeah, that was way back when.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just catching up here on the text on the typing. So uh, you can see that with this previewer, and you can even go to a large size on this thing, that it's super efficient. I
Wow.
love VPR for LightWave. I've always thought it was one of the best preview renderers on the market, but I have to say this is a little bit better. It's fast, as you can see when I start rotating. When I release, now we don't have a lot of samples, but it snaps right
Wow.
into what you're going to
Wow.
see for your final
That's
render there.
nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So we're going to turn that up uh, one more setting up to 500. Comes in at a default of 1,000. I've actually used it at 500 on big scenes and haven't had any issues with grain. So that's starting to look pretty clean there. Some of the other settings you have over here is diffuse depth, specular depth, glossy depth. I'm not going to go into everything. I actually don't even know what everything does here. There's a lot of controls, and I'm still new with it. But watching one of the tutorials from the LightWave YouTube channel, Lena was setting these at 8, so I'm going to start with his settings there. And I just wanted to kind of show you guys what is contained in some of these menus, give you a chance to look at them. One of the things is a global alpha channel checkbox. So if you want to engage alpha channels for the whole scene, you do it here. And then you also have alpha channels per object. So in order to actually have an alpha channel render for you, you need to set it here and on each individual object, but it gives you a lot of control on which objects you want to render with alpha, which is kind of nice. So we have GI type here, diffuse ambient inclusion. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and plug in the camera imager. We'll take a look at that. So here's where you're going to have exposure settings for the camera. You've got some saturation, some processing stuff, and one of the more important features of this menu is the denoising, which is really super great. Strong, fast denoising. It doesn't. If you keep it at a low setting, I read that you're supposed to keep the max at maybe 20 to 30, something like that, and you won't have any blurring or over aliasing of objects, and things will still stay real sharp. Works very well, and like I said, it's very fast. So we're going to go to the couple different environment options that they give you here. So you have sunlight. A few of the caveats though. Memory pools tend to be a lot smaller than the RAM available over CPU. Yeah, so that's true that the memory pool is smaller. They do give you some ways to work with that. DeSalis. One of the ways that you can deal with out of memory errors with your GPU situation is to go into the plugin options and go out of core, and you can enable out of core textures, so you can start to allocate some of your on system memory, I believe. Yeah, sorry, I've got some birds outside the window. They're quite loud this morning. It's a nice day out. This can help you with that situation. You can allocate some of your system RAM for. Yeah, no kidding. So this is a good way to help with that situation. I did run into one problem with out of core memory, but I came in here and allocated a little bit more GPU headroom for it. Ended up solving the problem. So I think if you're going to get into Octane render and you're looking to do big scenes, you're going to need some pretty good amount of RAM on your video cards. If you're doing it professionally, get as much as you can as far as the RAM, and you shouldn't have any issues.
So what do
once you enable the out of core textures as well.
What do you recommend in terms of RAM, like a minimum?
Minimum GPU RAM, I would It really depends on what you're doing. I would say that I think what you're running on your system, Steve, would be a minimum. So that's
Okay,
11 gigs, right?
11 gigs, yeah,
Yeah. So I
and
think that that's a minimum. I
that's
think you
considered
can get by
high,
with that.
right? That's considered high,
Um,
but a lot of people that I know have like these multiple, and I think you're one of them. They
yes.
have multiple video cards stacked together.
Well, that's the whole thing with Octane is you really not looking for Octane to really perform with a single card that's having to display a multi most guys I think are running a multi-monitor situation
Right.
that are in production. So you're asking your video card to display all your monitors. You may have all kinds of things going on your different monitors that are taking up VRAM, and then you're also asking it to run Octane at the same time. So it's too much of a load for a single card, in my opinion.
And it's easy to forget about the fact, like I'm using three monitors. They're three BenQ monitors, and you forget about the fact that your monitors are taking up all that extra resources from your video card when you're working in a 3D environment. So yeah, I guess like
Yes.
a minimum of two cards. Um, but the card that I have is $1,200 a piece. so yeah,
This is true.
oh
This is true. You don't necessarily have to go with the 2080 cards. If you were running multiple cards on your system and you put a couple uh, cards that were at 6 gigs, something like that, you might end up getting in with a little bit cheaper, upfront purchase and be in a decent situation.
and probably I should probably consider going with the 2080 instead of the
Yep.
2080 Ti, and that might help my render times.
So here's Andy talking about he's got a 1080 and it's working well for him.
Okay.
And again, it's really what are you doing with Lightwave? What's your target audience? What kind of products you're producing? So if you're doing something like product work, then you might have a limited scene size. For me personally, I'm doing pretty big environments with a lot of big textures. What it boils down to is how many giant textures and are you throwing into your scene. Once you get to a point where you're using a ton of textures and some really high resolution textures, you're going to start to reach to need the higher levels of VRAM.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So again, if you're looking for speed, and that's what Octane should be purchased for. If you want to get beauty shots, the new Lightwave rendering engine is capable of producing obviously some really great results, and it's just getting better and better all the time, and I'm so happy about that. Um, and I think that they're on their way to hopefully to approaching the capabilities of something like Octane, not only in speed but in the some of the advanced setups that Octane has, and I'm going to kind of show you some of that stuff. But um, the the reason you're going into it is speed, and the reason you want speed is because you have a need for fast turnaround for your clients. So I think at that point, purchasing some extra video power is just part of the equation for being able to operate your business, right? So, okay, so back to this stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and add a HDRI background. So we have image texture here. We're going to plug this into the environment texture, and I'm going to plug the Octane texture environment into the environment, and we're going to get our HDRI background and lighting. Of course, we haven't set up any Octane textures yet, so we're going to start to do that. So that's the render target. This is where you start. The nice thing about this setup here is you're probably going to be using similar setups for a lot of your scenes, and you can save this whole thing out. So you just load it up and you're done. Maybe make a couple tweaks per scene. This is another thing too. The gamma will come in at 2.2 on this, which we want to set to 1. So we have a normal looking, not super dark. I think you need to set your gamma, Steve, on your camera.
What about my camera?
I'm just teasing you from the first when you were fooling around with it when we first got started. I think you need some extra lighting in your room or something. It's kind of dark. It's like cave-like.
Now.
Now. All right. We all live in caves. So that's the render target. And now we're going to just show you a little bit about materials in Octane. So we're going to go to the body paint here. You can hold Shift and click on the paint, and it will bring up the texture. Nice and quick and easy, much like VPR. You do the same. So we've got with texture materials in in Octane, you've got the Octane materials tab over here, and this is one thing I wish you could actually expand. If anybody knows how to expand this row here in the node editor, I've been clicking on this bar and trying to pull it over forever, and I don't believe that there's a way to do it.
So John Marchand says that Octane has its own lights, and CyberHans wants to know how many lights does Octane have?
Okay, let me show you. So let's go ahead and open up light properties. Okay, so anytime you're actually going to add a light, right now we have the original distant light that opens up with the scene. So anytime you want to use Octane lights, you're going to have to switch it over to an Octane light. And down here you have light shape, and these are your different types of lights. So one thing that I've just recently ran into that I found was odd at first, but then it made sense after I started to research it, and I still haven't figured it all out yet, is there is no spotlight in Octane, because Octane is a physically correct lighting environment. There is no such thing as a spotlight per se.
So no spot sunlight?
There's no, well, sunlight is different, but
I was joking.
There is no coned kind of a spotlight with a cone and a fall off situation. So there's lots of tutorials, and I haven't gone through them yet, on how to actually create a spotlight using, I believe they use maybe a light and some geometry and create the same situation as a spotlight. But that's actually something that I'm working on currently. I need to get good looking headlights at night for the vehicles that I'm working with. And as a quick fix, I added an emission texture to the cover over the lights, and that basically turned it into a light. And I was able to get kind of a quick fix for a scene that I needed to finish up, doing it that way, but it's not quite where I want it to be and looking completely realistic.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're going to run into little things that obviously are different than the way that you're used to working in LightWave, but so far, personally, I've found that everything that I've encountered is easily solvable, and I haven't spent like days trying to figure out something. There's good documentation out on the web. There's a good group of users, and I've been able to get through everything.
So
Light pass. Yeah. I think that's the idea that I've seen on the web is they create some kind of an actual physical cone and put a light in it, and I'm not sure if they're using some kind of an alpha to get rid of the edge, so that you end up with a soft edge on it, and then you can just increase the end of the cone's actual size, the model, the object size, to increase the radius of the cone. So something like that. Maybe in the future I'll do a tutorial if I can figure it out on how to create a good looking spotlight in here. So those are the different light options, and you can use IES lights if you're into real world lights, and they've got the new Spectron lights as well. The lights come on originally. They're actually seen by the camera, so you can check this to make it invisible. Well, I'll get to that later maybe. But so that's the basic light setups. HDR Light Studio with Octane. Yeah, I haven't used that, Bernie. I've read a lot about it. Actually, looks really interesting, but I haven't used it myself. So we have all these different surfacing our material options here. We have a diffuse material, which is the super basic non-specular, non-glossy surface. If you need just a flat surface, it's a very basic surface. You go with the diffuse material. And as you can see, these surfaces are really, as far as the LightWave implementation, I've been told that LightWave is one of the easiest programs to use Octane in. It's really straightforward. The controls are simple. There aren't a lot of things that you have to set and you get good results, as far as I can tell. Here's our glossy material, which is what you're going to be using for most everything. And you have, diffuse, specular, and roughness, which is, the typical kind of lack of dense settings that you have to make when you're working with a physical renderer. So you can get pretty good results here if you actually just plug this in. And it's a terrible color, I think. I don't know.
I like the red.
You like the red? Should I leave it red?
Or more of a deeper red.
A deeper red.
Yeah, that's a very saturated red.
Okay, let's go more with that.
Yeah, there we go. Kind of. Yeah, a little.
Yeah, that does look a lot better. I agree with you. So this is just one surface. So I've seen some tutorials where they actually add a glossy surface, and then something like
somebody mentioned that Octane has
specular surface over the top of it to kind of create the clear coat.
Somebody mentioned that Octane has universal material.
Yeah, it has a universal material right here, which allows you to just basically, I think, I actually haven't used this a lot, so you've got some different options here in the PSDF model that it's using. Like I said, use it.
Okay.
All right, I'm definitely gonna have to do some experimentation with that. We've got some, like I said, more advanced users than myself here, so I appreciate the information. Thanks, LightWave. So yeah, like I said, we have a metallic material here. We have a shadow catcher for all your glass materials. You've got a specular material, and one of the great things about Octane that I wish had a little bit larger, pool to draw from in native LightWave is presets. So they have this Octane LiveDB material, which is the live database for users to upload their pre-made materials. So if you're a person that's in a pinch and you just want some something to get started with, so that you can actually make your own changes to it, you can add these from a library. So I'm going to show you what that looks like here. Here's the LiveDB. If I can get it to engage. It's taking a look. There we go. So you have a massive library of textures here. We'll go non-organic. We're looking for some car paint maybe. And see if we can, it's not really help, but so you have a vast library
Try the
of
blue
textures to draw from. If you just want to start with a base texture, and then play with it here.
Wow.
By the way, Octane also runs as a standalone, so when you install it, you have to install the standalone version of the software itself. And you can load up objects and scenes in there and set up the textures if you start to feel more comfortable that way. The texture setup, material setup in like native Octane is really super dense. There's a lot to it, and a lot of settings. I'm going to show you what that looks like. I haven't gotten into it as much as I need to. It's something that I'm going to have to do a bunch of study on. What I like about Octane is you can start off using it with just some of the basic functions of it, and then you can go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into to your heart's delight. So when you apply one of these settings, like right now we have this car paint that I applied to this earlier. And if we actually go to the edit menu for the Octane texture itself, so this is the actual LiveDB texture, you can see it gets into these nodal system textures that are absolutely wonderful.
So I'm looking at that glossy material node there. Over to the, I see that. Yeah. And so those colored dots on there is the color of the material that you want to switch it to?
You're talking to a person, maybe somebody can chime in on this. I actually haven't gotten into it yet, so it's something that I am still learning. All I've done is gone in and tweaked existing textures for color and some basic attributes to get something closer. I haven't designed them from scratch yet on my own.
Okay.
As you can see, they're quite complex in the networks that are set up for the more advanced materials.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't let you cheat by creating invisible
objects. I know you got two glossy nodes, and then those are actually branching off into other calculations, into mixed textures and noise textures and another mixed texture. I mean,
yeah. So, if you look to the right there, the settings are crazy.
Yeah.
As far as what you could get into and
you can do
multiple surfaces on this.
Yeah, you can do multiple nodes. You can use multiple nodes into another mixer. I mean, it's kind of interesting.
Yes. Yeah. So, you don't have to use this stuff as far as going in and creating these native textures necessarily. You can do this all in LightWave, and LightWave keeps it simple and usable and straightforward and fast, which is nice. But it's actually not difficult to get in and start to just learn the basics of this to be able to tweak something, just to get it working if you need to get something out quickly. I agree with what everybody's saying there, that it doesn't allow you to cheat. For what I'm doing personally, I'm looking for realism. I wanted extreme realism, and it's definitely giving me that. So that's great. You have this vast database to choose from, and the quality. Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Thought you were gonna say something. All right. So this is just with the base texture, no settings on it, and let's.
So
show you what
in the way
straight out of the box.
In a way, it's also teaching you to pay attention to reality and how things work in reality. So the comments that I'm seeing here is that the program doesn't really allow you to cheat to make things happen. You have to understand how things work physically in reality, and then once you understand that, you're better off using when using this product.
Yeah, so there's a bit of a trade-off, but I would say that the fact that, if you remember, back LightWave 2015, or the I always forget biased versus unbiased, which is which, but I believe it was the they were biased engines before, and now they're unbiased. I'm not sure, but Octane is unbiased, yeah. So with the unbiased renderers, you're talking about when you set up a material in LightWave. Like I said before, you can set the diffuse, specular, and roughness, and be on your way. 3 settings, it's done. It's gonna look the same in every scene, every lighting situation. So that's the benefit of using a physically correct renderer, and you're gonna get realism that's out of this world. It doesn't allow you to do a lot of the things that you could do in 2015, where you could cheat things or you could push things one way or another that wasn't particularly real, but it gave you the look that you wanted, or you were using a diffuse cheat in LightWave 2015 to brighten up your object, even though it wasn't physically correct. It wasn't adhering to the principles of lighting. It looked good, it looked right to you, and you were able to do that. So you can't do those kinds of things with the new renders. So I think the CPU renderers are also getting faster as well. Corona Render, I've read a little bit about that, and they tout themselves as being amazingly fast. So GPU is not the only way to go. I don't know where things are going to settle in the future. It seemed like everything was going towards GPU renders. They are fast. It seems like the GPU environment is a great environment for fast renders, obviously, but it does have its drawbacks. Let's see here. Do a lot of shadow layers and pass as native. Yeah, I cheat on those, but render everything else Octane a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be curious to find out. I haven't gotten into doing a lot of layered passes out of Octane since my turnaround is so fast on a lot of the stuff that I work on. A lot of times I'll actually just render single pass stuff, and what I love is that Octane's so fast that if I make a mistake, I can go back and re-render it, and it doesn't bother me a bit. I've gone from 3 days of rendering in even 2015 with a lot of cores to 1 day of rendering with Octane, and being a lot more relaxed doing it, because my scenes are taking an hour to 2 hours to render versus 7 or 8 hours to render. So that for me was beyond anything else. The metallic texture, I just wanted to show you. I was amazed at this metallic texture. I just put it on the rims, and it's just like right out of the box. These textures are so realistic. Just an absolutely wonderful metallic texture. And with LightWave, at times I struggled with creating really nice like brushed aluminum, or it's just not difficult for me to do here. Let's see here. Let's go with a little brighter metal, maybe a little bit more contrast in it. There we go. So there you go, just a couple settings, and you got a really nice looking chrome room. I don't know how long that would take me to do in 2015. I don't know if I ever would get there in 2015. I still love 2015, and the new render as well is great. I think it's fast to get there in the new render, but the problem is with the new LightWave renders has been noise issues and fireflies, and they are really working on that, and I've had a lot better success with the newer versions of the renders. Can you still adjust smoothing angles? That's a good question. I actually do not know the answer to that right off the bat. Can somebody else chime in that is the Octane user here, please? We have, if you look here, we do have smoothing. I haven't seen any, yeah. Where would that be located? Because I've seen the smoothing checkbox, but I actually haven't seen. Oh, you just use the LightWave. Okay, brilliant. So one of the things about Octane is it does use a lot of the native LightWave interface as well. Things like depth of field and motion blur you can set up in the original LightWave menu, and it's actually applying the settings to the Octane stuff. Yep. Good to know. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. I also wanted to show you the specular material. So it does glass really nicely. So here we have our glass, which we need to set up as a thin wall because it's not double-sided glass apparently in this model, so we'll change that to thin. We'll leave the refraction end.
So the glass in this model is a single plane.
I believe it's a single plane.
Got
A
it.
lot of the models that you're purchasing these days, like I buy a lot of my stuff from Hum 3D, and they're usually built as an enclosed, model. All the windows have double sides on them. So
So that square reflection on the windshield, is that the
yes,
shape of
so
the light?
that's the light that's actually we changed over, and technically I should probably have that light off. Right now we're just trying to render with, and that was really making doing some ugly things there. And I can just turn on the unseen by camera, and that light will disappear.
Okay.
Of course, you can still see it in the reflection there. So probably visible to camera. I'm not sure. I'd have to go through and take a look. Like I said, I'm fairly new with the program, so there's a lot of things I still don't know, or I'm just not quick with. But um, I think that's one of the reasons that this demo is interesting for me. I think Lino's awesome. Um, is that a person with my level of ability in Octane and my level of ability overall, which is at the lower end of the spectrum, can get in here and start producing work, um, without just absolutely pulling their hair out. And I think that says a lot for the software. I really do. Um, so anyway, there's some materials, basic operations. Um, yep.
I love to see this and for a background. I love to see this on a roadway.
Yeah, I didn't actually prepare that, Steve.
Just saying.
This was kind of last minute that you wanted me to do this, so I haven't really set up an entire scene. Um, I do have the one scene. It's a big scene though. We're starting to run out of time, and I'm not going to load it and go through all that. But is there anything anybody wants to add? See, direct lighting kernel in diffuse mode is biased and faster than path tracing, which is unbiased. Is that the Lino there? If that's Lino, hi Lino. Well, it's really, really nice to have you around here. Hey. I met you at one of the conventions up in LA. Good to have you here.
Wait, which convention was that?
Um, actually, I've forgotten the name of it. I haven't been for so many years. SIGGRAPH.
SIGGRAPH, which is now in Anaheim. Well, where's it going to be this year? It's not going to be anywhere this year. I think the last time it was up in Vancouver, or was it in Anaheim? Everything's canceled this year, but last year it was in. Where was it last year? Was it in Vancouver or Anaheim? I'm curious. It was in L.A. Well, that's right. It was in L.A. Because Dave Gerard and Jen Hishigian and Jessica Vitale and Ken Nine and I got together last year. I remember now because we got together, met there, had dinner and stuff. So, nice. Oh, good. David Glenn wants to be on. Okay, David, hold your horses there. Well, I'll get you on in a little bit.
I think Lino is much more well equipped to do these types of demos than I am, and I think that Lino should volunteer for his services.
Yeah, so Lino, Lino, I'm going to put the link down here for you to log on. This is the roundtable discussion, so you can just come on and chat with us. This is the link to log on to Adobe Connect. Just have a headset with your microphone, and I'll bring you on as a presenter, and you can present. That will be great to have you on.
Yeah, thanks so much to Lino and all the other people that have provided those great tutorials for us. I can't your rigging tutorials. and the Genoma system have been absolutely vital to the work that I do. And man, thanks to you and all of the team.
Okay, so basically, Lino, just to answer your question here real quick, this is the Lightwave roundtable discussion. You don't need anything formal. You just basically come on and says, "Hey, check this out," or "This is cool," or "I've been working on this." So I gave you the link to log on, and if you want to share, some more of Octane or anything you want to share, you can do whatever you want, and it doesn't have to be formal.
Yeah, informal is kind of what got me on here. If he would have said formal, I would have been no way. I would have said no way, I'm not coming. But he said informal, and he told me it was everything was just fine. So that's why I decided to come on. I just wanted to just show some of the basics of the software, um, and and share some of the experiences that I've had with it.
Oh, this is great. Everybody's loving it. See, I told you you'll be hit. Anything? I said we got a lot of comments here. You can show standalone. Okay, that'll be good, Lino. Okay, jump on the Adobe Connect link. I just posted it. It's right above your post. What's too confusing, Parsons? What are you confused about? So was that it, Dave? Did you want to share anything else?
Um, I think that's generally what I was wanting to cover. If there, like I said, if there's anything that was is within my ability that I can clarify for any of you, I'd be happy to.
Well, this is.
And I'm hoping that Parsons, when you're talking about too confusing, it wasn't what I was talking
I
about.
think he was joking.
I think he's talking about the standalone.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
standalone has to be running while you using the plugin in Lightwave. Is that correct?
Yeah. So well, if Lena's, I haven't tried it yet with 2020. I'm going to go purchase 2020. I don't know, probably this weekend and start tinkering. Um, One thing I'm curious, maybe Lino, is there any issues with Octane, the newest? I know Octane just came out with the new version recently. So do you anticipate any issues with it running with the new Lightwave? And I can also show you the just the standalone version while he's queuing up.
All right.
Okay, good to hear. That's really good to know. Um,
And Lino is on. I'm gonna make you both presenters by so that you can use your microphone, and then we'll get to you right after Dave is done. Okay. All right, Dave, take it away.
See, this is all I can do is open it. That's the extent of my knowledge. I can type Octane into my Windows search field, and I can hit enter and open the program. So this is where Lena can take it away. This is where
Okay.
you're going to create those textures that I showed you before. So the native system in Octane is gonna look something more, like this. This is going to be more what you're going to be looking at, I believe. So, and I honestly, I can't wait to actually get into it and dive deeper.
It seems like an incredible program.
I think Octane's been in development for a lot of years. Uh, the person that developed Lightwave is really on top of things. He's in all of the the chat groups. If somebody asks a question in support or something, like, he is in there just immediately to answer questions. So I'm very impressed with the the interaction with the group, the users, and the development on the software. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Great.
nice. So the demo version of Octane for Lightwave, if you're asking, was something that I started with because I was really unsure. It's an investment. I think it's $800 a year, I believe. I'm not sure if it's a yearly. I think it's a yearly subscription. Um, so it's obviously a reasonably sized investment. So I wasn't just going to jump right in. I needed to make sure it was going to work for my pipeline. So I demoed it for about a week, and all I did was open up one of my old scenes and see how fast I could convert it over and make it usable. And within a week, I was able to, through Linux tutorials, other tutorials out there, and the manual for the program, I was able to get it converted over from a fairly complex scene with UVs all over the place, and my road textures are fairly complex, layered textures, UV textures, that I do some quite a bit of layering on those, and I wanted to make sure that I could actually recreate the roads that I've been developing for so many years working on the stuff that I do, I was able to convert it over easily and get going with it, and that was what really made it for me. Uh, so yeah, Studio with a 2 GPU limit. What is Studio?
For a studio with a 2 GPU limit is $20 a month. So that means a single computer with two video cards, or two single computers with one video card. I'm assuming. No,
I
it's
did read
20.
about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
20 GPU limit. It's 20.
Actually, that's $20 a month is I
It's
think it's pretty
it's
reasonable.
pretty reasonable.
Yeah, if you're going to be making money from the software, then it's extremely reasonable.
It's one of their submodels. They have Enterprise and Studio. So Enterprise is how much a month, guys? Enterprise is $30 a month. How much are you paying a month, Dave?
I don't know. I purchased the
It sounds
the
like you're
year
paying
long
almost
subscription,
the year. Because
and I think it was around $800.
that's almost like no, I got that's
I need to actually go back and look at what I paid for it.
all right. So you're paying $800 approximately divided by 12. You're paying $66 a month, and these
Yeah,
guys are
no,
yeah.
I'm not sure. I think that what I purchased in might be more of a permanent plan, and I'm not sure if they let it. I thought I read something about
Oh, so you bought a one
that you're
time.
actually able to use it for longer, or it's a permanent thing. It's not a subscription thing, so I might have it until the next upgrade. I'm not sure.
Oh,
Actually,
I
I need to
got
go
it. So
back and
you
take a
pay
look.
the $800 per upgrade. Um, but still, the other deal may be better. I mean,
I kind of
$20 a month.
disagree, Steve. I think
No,
every new Lightwave that they've done since 2018 has
yeah.
been fixing a lot of the smaller issues that Lightwave had that were left for a long time, and I think every build has something. And honestly, if you're looking at, I mean, God, I just re-upped on 3D Studio Max. It cost me an arm and a leg, and
Right.
new the Lightwave stuff is really reasonably priced for users for the upgrade.
Right. But I was referring to the Octane price.
Yeah.
So the Octane price they're saying is $20 a month. You're paying 66 a month. From what I from if you're paying $800 for the year. So I'm not quite sure if that's what that
Yeah, so Lino, I think, is hitting on it. I believe that what I purchased was not a subscription. I think I purchased
a
a
one-time deal,
permanent
a
license.
permanent license.
Yeah,
Gotcha. So basically,
yeah,
you can upgrade forever.
yeah. And I think they're also really, from what I need to go back and study this. I didn't do it too thoroughly, but I believe that it's kind of like ZBrush, where
Right.
they don't always necessarily charge you for upgrades. I think
They don't charge you
I
at
read.
all for upgrades. I've had it since 2.5, and I have not paid for an upgrade for
Yeah,
ZBrush. So if
right,
that's the
right. And
same,
I don't know. Yeah.
yeah, if that's the same thing, then I say you got a good deal.
So yeah, so Bernie, I can answer that question. So I work in forensics, which is in a way similar to architecture. And one of the 3D Studio Max has become the standard in my industry. A- Absolute standard. It doesn't mean Lightwave isn't being used, but it's the standard. The reason it's the standard primarily is because, well, it does take CAD files and the DXF files and things like that very very well. It imports that stuff great. But the biggest reason is because it can bring in point clouds natively. So all these guys, they're using scanners or total stations out there that are doing survey work can can bring that in. Um, and I actually talked to Lightwave developers twice. I've called in. I sent them point clouds, crossing my fingers that they would take a look at the option to develop the ability to bring in point cloud software for Lightwave. And I still think that, man, for the price that Lightwave is, if they had the point cloud option, people would be buying it left and right just for visualizations for point cloud stuff. I think it would open up a big space for the company, uh, and also get a lot of people on board that are in my industry and possibly in others. So I still hope for the future for that.
Wow, we have a greater attendance this week than we did last week. We got uh, 55, almost 60.
Right.
Pretty
So
good.
somebody was mentioning that the 2020 is out. I was only supposed to go for a half hour, so we're way over time on me.
Okay. All right, Lino, I saw your comment. So yes, I'm going to bring you guys on. I'll bring on Lino next, and then I'll give Dave Glenn the microphone after Lino. How does that sound, guys? Okay, so Lino, I've made you a presenter. So let's go to the top of your screen. You'll see my microphone is green, but on the drop list, you should be able to select your microphone. You probably only have one, but if you have many, select the one you're going to use, and then click on the microphone, and it should highlight green so that we can hear your voice. And I don't hear you yet.
Okay, I have to
Yes, yes, I
just
hear
turn off
you.
the other
Yes, we hear you.
switch because
Um,
I was hearing a double audio.
well, yeah, well, turn off,
So can you hear me now?
turn off your Twitch screen. You're hearing me on Twitch also, so turn off your Twitch screen. Oh, your sound. Turn the sound off on your Twitch page.
Yeah, yeah, the audio is off.
Yes, good. Audio is off on Twitch, then you won't hear a double. Okay, so do me one last favor, Lino. If you go to your microphone, go to your adjust your microphone volume as you see as you see on the top, and then bring your microphone volume up a little higher. And
Oh,
Dave, go ahead and stop sharing your screen.
maybe now I'm in.
Okay, cool, good. All right, so Lino, you'll see a share my screen in front of you button.
Okay,
Click it, and then it's going to ask you to load in some Adobe Connect software. Just say yes to
okay,
everything.
sure.
Okay, it's an honor to have you here, man.
It's an honor to be here. It's just I just watched that there was Octane on the screen, so I say, wow, I must be there
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now I can share my screen. And can I share just an application? No.
Well, no,
I have
share
to
your
share my
whole
whole
screen.
screen.
Share your whole screen. Do you have a single monitor or a dual monitor?
I have two.
All
Let's
right. So
see.
so choose the right monitor.
I hope it's the right one. Am I sharing something?
Not yet. I don't see anything yet.
Because I clicked on share my screen, but nothing happens.
Is there now what the browser are you using?
Firefox.
That works great. Check to see if there's something it wants you to confirm.
And somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere it might want you to confirm something.
Yeah, let me close some windows here because there is a mess on my desktop.
And of course, we have to do the same thing
Okay,
for David Glenn also.
For some reason, I can't share anything. Maybe it's that.
Lino has raised his
I'm
hand.
muted, so
What was
Wait,
what was that?
I don't know. Something happened, but it's not about the screen.
All right.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay.
We can hear you fine. We can hear you fine. We just got to get you to share your screen.
For some
Sometime,
reason, I can't. I can't.
well, no, don't say you can't. Sometimes what happens is that you may have to log out and log back in, and that might
Okay, I'll
kind of
try that.
so completely log out. I'll see you go away. So David Glenn, use your microphone so I know that I can hear you.
can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly loud and clear. That's great. Okay, Lino is back.
Ah, great.
This is great. Thank you for being here. So I'm gonna make Lino a presenter again. All right, let's see if we can get him to share his screen.
Let it go to mute.
Yeah, that'd be great. Just go to mute. Thanks, David. All right, so Lino, you should be able to hear me. And I guess he is okay. I
Hear
see.
me?
Yes, I can hear you
But
perfectly.
I still have the same problem with sharing the screen. Let me try to close the other window here.
There's something there. Hopefully, do you have a
Sure,
pop-up
sure.
blocker? There it is. I see something. You're sharing a
That's
whiteboard.
a whiteboard.
Right. You're
Yeah.
sharing a whiteboard.
So I can do nothing with that.
Right.
I
Right. So
stopped
what you want to do is
sharing,
just share your
and I retry with my screen.
right.
But
Your
still
whole
not working. Oh. Document. I don't know why.
Okay, try this. Log out of here and then try it through Google Chrome. See if that works.
Okay, let's see if I have Chrome.
Yeah, just log. I should see you go away completely. So completely log out and then come back in with Google Chrome
I'll try. Okay.
and see if we
Bye.
get better results for that. Yeah.
Let's see. Bye.
All right. So hold on, everybody. We're getting this. We're getting this licked. Sometimes it works perfectly, and other times, and everybody, it's really weird. You think all software on everybody's system will work the same, but it's not always the case. Especially with Mac users, their Safari will not work consistently well with Adobe Connect, but other browsers work fine. I use Opera. It works perfectly fine. Let's see, when he comes back in, we'll see, he's going to come in through another browser. Well, we know, David, let's try and share your screen. Let me see how yours work. If David is there, you got to unmute your microphone.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, now push the share your screen button. Let's see if you come through.
Okay.
Yeah, you're coming through fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're coming. Yeah, you're clean. You're coming through. Okay, all right. So now let's let
Can you
it.
go ahead and cancel out?
Hold on just a second. I want to be able to actually see your entire screen first. I've got your little, the little. There you go. Yep, I see your desktop. Okay, go ahead and back out. Stop sharing
How
your
do I
screen.
do that?
Just go back to your Adobe Connect window,
Uh-huh.
and then click on Stop sharing my screen. There it is down the bottom. That little green. There we go. That one there. You probably see
This one
this.
here?
Yeah, you probably want to maximize it. Maximize it, and then click the. There you go. Good. All right. So Lino, that's easy. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
go back to you, Lino. You are now a presenter, and you can use.
Wonderful technology.
And then yes, good. Oh, Lino, I'm some. Oh yes. All right.
I'm gonna go to you.
Wonderful. Great going. See, sometimes it's just switching browsers. So you have to remember that that's the browser that you used, okay? All right, cool. All right, so Lino is up, and Lino's going to share. Now, Lino, you're going to have to share with us who you are, your relationship with the company, and the tutorials that you do.
Yeah. Well, I didn't prepare anything for the tutorial, so I will show something a little random, in Octane standalone. But yes, I've been working for like 7 years for NewTek, LightWave 3D development.
Oh. So you're that Lino.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Everything
hell, I
was
know
so
who you
nice.
Yeah, you're that Lino. Okay, great. So then we have to talk.
Yeah.
You and I. So we have you're on from NewTek. We have Ken9 is on from NewTek. Oh, this is great.
Now I've been waiting for Otoy since 2 years now, so I work to Octane render. So that's perfect, and that's why I'm showing. I like to show standalone.
Okay, so when we're done with this meeting, can you stay on a little bit more so I have some specific questions that I need to discuss with you.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
Absolutely. So standalone, it's somehow underestimated because it's a very nice way of dealing with render in general, because everything you do is just there. I mean, if I now had like a primitive, let's add a geometric primitive. I will go with, let's go with a box, okay? You connect the geometric primitive to the geometry group, and it's there already with a material already assigned. I don't like this material. This is a diffuse material. I prefer to work with a universal material, which is basically the principal shader that has been implemented in so many PBR renders. And yeah, from here you can start, doing stuff. And you have a double vision. You have nodes here. And you have the layer version of the nodes with all the options you can change. So for example, let's say I want to connect something to the universal material just created. I could do it from here, just clicking here, and I can choose something else than the RGB color node, or I can expose this material here, so I can basically show that in the where is material showing graph editor. Let's expand simply this. I'm going to expand all the items here. Okay, so still a diffuse material, which is just the name. This is a universal now. Anyway, let's say I want to attach a noise texture to this diffuse material, which is not a diffuse material. I'm going to rename it because this is now a universal material. I just kept the name of the original material, and I'm going to add like a noise texture. Okay, noise texture. Now we can attach the texture to any input we want. We have the transmission, the albedo, which is the color, metallic, specular roughness, and so on. So let's go with the albedo. And everything is instant, basically. So that's pretty nice. So this is a geometric primitive, and we can do several things. We can change the kind of primitive we're using, or add subdivisions, or what I'm doing right now is to add a vertex displacement. So let's show how vertex displacement works in Octane. So all I have to do is to attach this noise texture to the input of the vertex displacement. Of course, we have no subdivision, so the displacement is taking place just on the 6 spaces of the box. But what we can do in the vertex displacement is we can add subdivisions. So I'm going to add subdivisions. Let's stop at 7 right now. And something else we have to do is to set this to smooth. Yeah, way better. And again, we can change option in the texture. So the scale, for example, let's go something bigger. So it's working in a pretty much similar way as it was in LightWave. You know, the displacement in LightWave. So we have real polygons, we have subdivision of the mesh and the texture applied. So we can change the depth of the displacement. Now there is a lot of metal here. Yeah, metallic, specular. Okay, I have to attach the sRGB color again. So now we can decide the color. And since I subdivided this mesh, but I can add a lot more detail to the texture. For example, adding more octaves. What I can do is to activate out-of-bump map. This is going to simulate, the detail via bump mapping, basically, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's working fine. And you see, everything is real time, and that's great. You have assets who uses Octane and LightWave knows that it can work with the daylight environment and this kind of stuff. Here, you can just move this on the map and get different times, different longitudes. So let's go back here. And this is something cool. I'm going to add a dirt texture. This is basically an occlusion node you can use to add detail. So let's attach it to the albedos, to the color. This is going, to enhance the detail we created with the displacement. And of course, we have several options we can use here. Details. We can change the radius. We have several options that can help to define the occlusion of the object. Also, if we want, we can add a gradient node. Always have to do this twice for some reason, that's okay. And so gradient, we put the dirt text into the gradient and the gradient into the albedo. Now we have full control. If I will add like some sliders. I'm going to change the color of those sliders. Now we are we are controlling the occlusion color with a gradient. So let's add another. Let's go for like slightly blue, something like that.
So
yes, this is displacement.
So the blue is kind of on the top portion of the texture, and the orange is more toward the valleys of the texture.
Yeah, it's we are basically managing the occlusion with a ramp. Where it's darker, it's in this zone of the gradient. Where the occlusion is brighter, it's in this zone.
Okay.
So yeah, it can vary. I mean, it depends on the strength, on the details. You see, this is the zone where you have to move the color. Depends on those parameters as well. So I normally leave this to 1 and let the details. Yeah, leave the details to 10. Something like this. And we can, add it. Why not another? Let's go with something we can see. Maybe white. Why not? And we go here. So yeah. So this is a pretty cool way, to create like a rock or something. We can move. There is no OpenGL in standalone. So normally, you work with the render, which is a very peculiar way of working. You have to get used to it. but you can move objects around. And what's cool, you can create an instance of this object pretty quickly. All you have to do is to add like a placement node here, which is basically a transformation node.
Okay.
And now I'm going to connect the same geometry primitive with this node here and attach these to the geometry group. So now if I click on the placement, I can, move it. And you see the speed, the render speed, it's really, really great.
Wow.
In general. That's what I love about it. I always loved about Octane. I've been using it since 10 years. I've been using it in LightWave a lot. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Are you a developer as well?
I do a lot of stuff in Octane. I'm mainly their 3D artist. So I test the software. I suggest changes to the workflow or features, things like that. That's my main task.
So
I make videos, of course.
So Steve White mentions that you have 2 video cards in there, 2 2080 Ti's.
Absolutely, that's my configuration here.
Wow. I was born a poor black child. You can afford this stuff.
Yes, but even if you use just one, I'm going to actually to disable one of those.
Okay.
Just to. Okay, now that's not good. Adjust that. No peer. Okay, so now I'm using just one of the two, and you can see the speed. It's unbelievable. Yeah, basically, if you have an RTX card, you really can be happy. I don't know if I have some recent projects. Let's see. Yeah. Now, I'm loading this pretty heavy scene with a lot of 4 and 8K texture. You can see the loading. They're loading here. What is great is that Standalone is loading those data directly in the GPU VRAM, which means you don't have to wait this transfer time each time you start a new render. So that's really great, and you will see when the scene will be loaded. Okay, I click on render target. So now the render is going to start. And here we are. So this is a pretty heavy scene with a lot of instances, a lot of grass and rocks.
Love it.
But the speed, it's unbelievable. If we consider, how much stuff we have in the scene. So this is really, really cool. Let me enlarge this. Because it's always calculating at the defined resolution you can define here. I can. Let's go. I mean, this is okay, but anytime you can, zoom in and out without having the render restarting, which is very important. Yes, in general, I'm really happy with Octane Render, and I'm happy that you can share data, whatever software you're using, you can share data and scenes in RBX format, which is the main let's say X interchange format in Octane. Let's see if I have something interesting. Well, I think that could be it. What is nice is that Octane works with references, which means that you can. Okay, it's extremely nice to have Octane integrated in LightWave, so you can create your scene in LightWave and use Octane from within the application, which is very direct and it's great. But if you use Standalone and Octane and LightWave, if you want to use them in a separate way, well, you can. Because you can save your objects in or your animation in Alembic format or FBX, and you can load those as nodes into Octane Standalone. which means that basically it works a little like LWS and LWO also work in LightWave. So you have here, you basically from here you save the LWS, which references objects and textures on disk, just like LightWave does in layout. And that's cool because you can replace stuff. If you have made like a very complex scene and you want to change an object or replace it with another one, you simply go back in LightWave and change the object model, the model, save it again with the same name, and just go here and refresh the object or reload the scene, and you will have it updated without losing any node or data that you have edited or created, which is attached to that node. And I think this is the fastest way you can work with Octane, working with standalone, because again, you don't have the problem of transferring the data into GPU RAM, because it's just there. I don't know if you're interested. Maybe I could show as a last thing. So we. As a last thing, we how to import a Megascan object in standalone. Why not? With this bridge application, I love Megascans. So let's say we want to import one of those objects in standalone. I like this one. So I'm going to Files. What I can do now, I can import you see several loads, several versions of this object. I could import the very high resolution one or a lot. Let's go with that resolution. We can do that. So I'm going to drag this directly here in standalone. So it's loaded. I can attach this to the geometry group. You see the geometry group has just 2 inputs now, but you can really have as many as you need. You just click here on Add Input and you have more of them. Anyway, we have our very detailed Megascan here. What I need to do is to create a universal material. So let's go here in Materials, Universal. Let's attach this universal material here. And now all we have to do really is to add the texture. So we have the albedo. So let's get the albedo into standalone. Attach the texture. So again, we could attach the normal, even if the displacement is really detailed here. So let's do that. That's for the roughness. In grayscale, we don't need information color. It's very important when you're using a GPU render to optimize the scene, the resources. So if you don't need color because you're dealing with like a roughness or specular map or a BAM map or displacement, you don't really need a color map. You need just gray scale map. So roughness. We also have several models, lighting models. So where is universal material? Please let me close it. Okay. Metal base layer. Okay, specular. Okay, in the specular layer, okay, we can choose Octane, which is the standard one, or Backman or GGX, which is the one used by LightWave render in general. So that's pretty nice. So, and what's great now is that if I add a placement node and attach this model here, I can create basically a landscape using just this this asset, but of course we can load other ones if we want. So another one here. Let me order this stuff. There is an options that helps you with that. So another placement. Going to move it. And maybe we can, why not? We can scale that a little bit. Down. Let's scale it down. Let's rotate it again. Let's move it. So you see, it's pretty seamless. You know, you can't really see where an object is starting and where the other is ending.
Beautiful.
What I want to do, yes, it's really nice. And you know, when you start playing with the lighting, or why not? You can play with the, you can add depth of field without problem. So, yeah, depth of field with autofocus, it's okay. Aperture. As we change the aperture, you can see the doff effect. So it's, yeah, this is really this is too much. It looks like a miniature, but so that's cool. Of course, we're using a daylight environment, and we can change the time. So let's go here in the daylight. We can change the log of time. I moved this so it's. Okay, let's say it was here. So, you know, it's 8 in the morning, 10, 12, 2 in the afternoon, 5 in the afternoon, and so on.
Oh,
and
nice.
It's lighting. You don't see anything. That's cool. Yeah, and you can also you can change the timer. You can also change the north offset, so the orientation of the sun, basically, which can be really useful once you have defined an hour that you like. You may want just to rotate basically the whole daylight. Something else you can do is to replace the sun direction. I'm going to do something before. I'm going to expand this. So you see now the node, it's appeared in the node editor. And I'm going to detach that, because what I want to do is to add a texture environment, which basically allows us to attach. Okay, that's what's right. Yeah, on the sun direction, the daylight environment is the one controlling. Of course, the daylight, the sun direction controls the sun direction of the daylight environment. So texture environment, there is no texture loaded now, just plain white. You can change the color, and that's not so exciting. What we can do, and I'm going to do it from here. We can load an RGB image, and I'm going to my HDRI collection here, and I have one I love so much, which is
lots of images.
Yeah, those are from HDRI Heaven.
Yes, so I love that site.
All these are free and are beautiful.
They are I've used them. They're beautiful.
Yeah, I have to find the one I prefer. Maybe by name. Well, I can really load anything. all of those are nice. Yeah, let's go with the rusty copy. If I don't like, I'm going to change. No, Red Hilker. No, let's go with the Table Mountain. Okay.
Wow.
So, first thing to do is to change the gamma to 1. That's very important since it's a high dynamic range image, the one I loaded, so you have to work in linear. But again, that's pretty cool. I mean, realism, it's oof. And let's see which kernel are we using right now, because that's something very important to know about Octane. You have several kernels, which basically are several different render algorithms that you can use. So we have path tracing, PMC, info channels is something that I can show it just after, and direct lighting. So path tracing and PMC are unbiased, so offer the maximum realism. But my advice is to never use PMC because it's way slower than path tracing is. So path tracing normally gives you all the realism that you really need. And as you select path tracing, you can select how many diffuse depth bounce you want in the scene. Doesn't make a lot of sense right now because it's an exterior, it's not an interior. Or how many specular depth bounces or scatter depth and so on. Also, something you have to change immediately. Normally, this J clamp is set to something like this, like 1 million. It's a lot. Normally, something like 5 is working really well, even for interiors, and it helps killing the noise quickly. So max samples, it's the maximum number of samples you want to use. Let's go for 500. We don't need so many. You can see this is already clean, like with 100 samples. I don't know. It's just amazing. It's so fast. And so direct lighting, it's totally biased. So even here you can define how many diffuse depth bounces you want to use. You can really go like this or the specular. Why not even more? So this is the fastest algorithm you can use. We don't see much difference right now because this kind of scene, it's really easy to calculate, especially in Octane. But when you have a lot of refraction and transparency and reflection, blur reflection going on, you may need to use even direct lighting if it takes a lot of time. But even path tracing, it's so fast that wow. So yeah, you can definitely go in biased mode, but also when you are in unbiased mode, there is stuff like adaptive sampling that you can turn on, like in this case. There is denoiser, there is typical biased trick, like adaptive sampling is. So I know that there are many users that are comparing the Octane speed to Redshift speed. That should be done when you are in a biased mode in Octane. Even if I have to say that I tested both the renderer, and I have to say both renders are cool and fast. I still prefer Octane for its realism, especially with volumetrics. So we also have this info channel kernel here, and this helps since there is no OpenGL. If you want to do wireframe, or we have wireframe with depth of field here, or any other kind of information like geometric normal, smooth normal, shady normal, z depth. Okay, we don't see much right now, but yeah, roughness, all those buffers you can be seen immediately. But again, path tracing is. So now another cool thing is that working with the nodes, you can instantly, for example, change from the texture environment with the HDRI and change it to a daylight environment instantly. I just touch and detach what I need. Just like in LightWave, you can do the same in LightWave directly. So I'm going to do something here. I'm going to copy this geometry group and also perfect. And I'm going to attach this replacement. Okay. What I want to do, basically, no, I'm going to attach this to placement. Yes. This to this. Sorry, I have to make some order to understand what I'm doing. Placement, geometry, and we go basically here. So now, if I move this, I have another copy. I can move around. Basically, it's a copy of the other group. You can repeat this and create thousands of instances. And you choose your point of view. But again, the speed is unbelievable. Anyway, I think that's all for now. And yeah, thanks.
Okay, this is great. Yeah, great responses here. So yeah, so kind of hang in there, and when we're
Yeah.
done, we will we will we'll chat more. So you know what? This is probably about that time that we do a 15-minute break,
Okay.
and then we'll come in and we'll bring on David Glenn, who's been so
Okay.
patiently waiting. And I'm gonna go to my 15
Sorry about
minute.
that. Sorry about that, Len.
No, 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 you're fine. No, we got plenty of time. So this is going to be our official snack break, bathroom break, whatever you want to call it. Let's go back and put this in the very
Hey, I'm in
beginning.
quarantine, so
Oh, me too. I understand your situation pretty
Man,
pretty well.
this weather is like it's beautiful today. It's
It's
warm and
it's wonderful out here in the desert. I'll tell you, it's a great day. It's like in the 90s, and I'm not out there riding around or anything like that because if I do, I have to wear a mask. So it's a real drag.
Now I am in Spain, and normally it never rains here, but during this quarantine, I think it rained like for 20 days. It's unbelievable, but maybe it's better this way. Maybe you want to
yeah.
go out.
Yeah. The rain will keep people in and it'll help clear out the air. And then you got the
Yeah,
hot weather for in our side coming in, which should help with cleaning up the rest of that bacteria and virus issues.
yeah. Let's
So
hope so. Yeah.
yeah, the heat and the ultraviolet light
Yeah,
will
we're a
just
little overcast today, so
oh what,
just
Do not
other than
disinfect your blood, okay? Do
Yeah.
not disinfect your blood. Don't do that.
oh my gosh.
I'm a little smarter than that, I'll tell you.
It looks like 30, 40 people in the United States did it. And
They did it?
They went to the hospital. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's why you got to be careful when you're a leader of state. You got to be very careful what you
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the American people need to understand that they need to be very careful as to who they put in office.
Yeah,
Okay, we
I won't get into that one.
No, we won't. No, we won't.
changing topic.
I won't touch that one on a 20-foot pole because one of my clients happens to be the United States government. So,
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh.
You've never been here?
You've never been to the U.S.?
Oh, I've been a lot of times.
Oh,
of
okay.
course, I'm in the U.S. I'm in Ridgecrest, California.
Oh, okay. You're in Ridgecrest. So you way up there. That's up there near Death Valley, right?
That is correct.
Oh, my
Yeah,
gosh.
We're
So,
probably closer in Death Valley than you are.
yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, I'm doing my Death Valley workshop. We had switched it from April this year to November. So I'm going to be up
Yeah.
in that area November 5th through the 8th. So we should stay in contact.
Oh, definitely. I haven't been to Death Valley. Last time I was in actually Death Valley proper was like when I was 12 years old.
Right. Oh, it's
So-
absolutely gorgeous. I mean, do you take pictures sometimes?
It's a desert. Well, there's some nice scenes out here. Frankly, I go out to Lake Isabella
Yeah.
every once in a while, and I take a few pictures there. But generally, you look outside and you see desert. You go to Death Valley, you see desert. It's pretty much the same wherever you go, unless you happen to be someplace where the Joshua trees are, and those are nice.
Yeah. Well, Death Valley is
And we have this very nice park area.
is I go back and I pick the leaves off the tree, about 7 or 8 of them, like big leaves, and then I rinse them off, boil them in hot water. I boil them with a cinnamon stick and a half a lemon. Boil it. I can drink it hot, or I'll just let it cool down. Put it in a couple of half-gallon containers. Put it in the refrigerator and have iced tea. So guava leaf tea is really good for cholesterol and high blood pressure, and very therapeutic just for your body in general. So, yeah, that's what I'm drinking. I'm eating and drinking. I know he's giving me a hard time, but I'm kind of being a little honest. Okay, gosh, we had some incredible presenters today. You guys are wonderful. We got some really good stuff. So everything here is being recorded. So if you are not following me on Twitch, make sure you do so right now. Hit the follow button so that every single time I come on, you're automatically notified that the Lightwave meetings are on Twitch. So this is all live and interactive, which is beautiful. Everything's being recorded. Everything is in Twitch. If you want to watch any and all of the recordings that we've ever done, it's a monthly fee you pay for Twitch. It's like $4 a month or $4.99 a month or something like that, and you get access to everything. Not only to the Lightwave and the Lightwave roundtables, but also to my personal streams that I'm doing on Twitch, like usually during the week. You have access to all of that educational content. But at the least, follow me so that you'll be notified when I log on. So, Broke Citizen says, so not sure if it was mentioned, but what's up in the new Lightwave with the new Lightwave? Okay, I'm working on it. Okay, we've got a couple of the Lightwave developers here. I'm chatting with them about doing the next Lightwave users group. Our last users group meeting was it last week or the week before? I think it's the week before. We have the official Lightwave meeting once a month, and then every Sundays after that is the Lightwave roundtable discussion. So what I'm working on is talking to some of the developers like Ken and Deuce and those guys that come on and talk about what's new in 2020. So far, if you looked at some of the chats in here from earlier before you logged on, everybody's loving Lightwave 2020. They're saying there's been a lot of additions, a lot of improvements, and the render is a lot faster. That's kind of what I'm hearing overall. And I don't have 2020 yet, but I will. I most definitely will get to it. Okay, so Dave 3D Guy says some nice Lightwave 2020 renders are up on the Lightwave 3D site. I tell you what, just before we get on with our presentation, let me kind of drag something on over. Somebody made this comment that the new Lightwave is a lot less than buying an SLR camera. Yes, it is. SLR cameras are expensive. Lightwave 3D, if you are not aware, I think almost everybody's aware now. We have the new Lightwave, the new 2020 has just come out. Just last week, people were complaining about where's 2020, right? Well, there it is, okay? So it's there. We've got it, and so make sure you go on and upgrade. And the upgrade is what, guys? So it's like $295. Isn't that the upgrade price? Oh, Liberty. Hey, Kelly's here. Meow. Hey, it's good. It's good to hear you're back and healthy. $295. Dave 3D Guy says $295 is a new Lightwave. All I'm hearing about the 2020 is that there's been some vast improvements and additions. So far, overall, everybody's loving it. Okay, we just did this whole thing on Octane. I don't know when. I think Kelly. So let's see. Virgin Pi. Let's see. Ken says no. Steve White says, "Hey Kelly, you just missed Lino." Yeah, no, Lino's still here. But he's just on mute right now. Lino came on, did some Octane rendering. Actually, the whole day has been Octane rendering. Now we're going to get into something else, which is really nice. I like the diversity. That's what the Lightwave Roundtable discussion is all about, diversity. Kind of come in and share what you've been doing, what you like about Lightwave. Jess1000 says $295. Yep. Something over 500 for me. Says something over 500 for you. I don't. Why is that? Are you from another country or something, or what's the deal? $295 for some, not everyone. Why is that? Is some people have an older version of Lightwave or something? Or okay, so Ken says the upgrading price is based on several different factors. Typing them now. Okay, so keep your eye on that chat box. Ken is one of the programmers for Lightwave. He's going to enlighten you as to what the upgrade price versions are. Let's see. Broke Citizen says he was a set editor for the TriCaster, but I wish LightWave was an option. Why is LightWave not an option? Liberty 3D says contact me directly and he will get you a better discount and $100 off of cat product from Liberty 3D. Okay. All right. So 567 euros. So evidently people overseas has a little bit of a different price. That's upgrading from 2019. Then it's okay. So if you're upgrading from 2019, then the upgrade is $295. There's a big thread on LightWave 2020 says Kai Diddley Assassin mentions that there's a big thread on LightWave 2020 on the forum with many complaining it is a light release, but I will upgrade soon. Okay, I think much was under the hood, right? Under the hood stuff, which is what we've been screaming about forever. All right, so evidently in euros it's 567. If you're upgrading from 2019, it's $295. Keep your eye on Ken's post here. He's going to kind of give you a breakdown on what the upgrade prices are and why. Okay. Let's see. Nicker 3D, it's not a light release. It's not a light release. If you can pay $295, go for it. All right. For everybody, somebody mentioned something about there was complaining that was a light relief. That is not what I'm hearing. I mean, the majority of people are saying that this is a major release. So I guess it's just a matter of perspective. Okay, from official site when blog. Okay, now Bernie Bien says, but still cheaper than the latest DSLR. Okay, yeah, of course. That's right. And the thing is with DSLR cameras is that once you buy a good DSLR camera, you're not going to upgrade for a long time. So Canon and those guys have a tough road to haul there. All right, so let's get back to our presentation. Actually, I want to share something else. HDRI Haven, guys, you got if you're not aware of this site, it's all free HDRI images, and I mean high res HDR images. Sky, here are your options: skies and indoors and natures and urbans. Let's go to nature. And here are your HDRI categories. Look, I mean, it's a lot of them. I mean, this is fantastic. And they're all 360-degree panoramic HDRI and in all various resolution sizes. Let's click on this one here. And here's the picture of what you're getting in 360-degree panoramic. And if you scroll down at the bottom, look at your options. This is all free. Look at this, 1K, 2K, 4K, 8K, 16K, 20K. That's a 613 megabyte files for the 20K. This is just, and it's all free, guys. All right, you should be using this. Version Pi says, upgrading from version older than 2019, $595. Upgrading from 2019, $495 if you have and charter. Let's see, let me scroll down here. My scroll bar is kind of getting off to the side here. Let's see, $395 if you have LightWave 15. Let's see, 2018, then it's $395. Okay. If you have 2015, I'm kind of go over to the side here and look at this. I'm kind of okay. I see the $295 pricing subject to change, but that's what it is now. Okay. All right. New Tech undercuts resellers for the first release special, says Liberty 3D. Nicker 3D says, yes, the local action center needs to be improved. Since it does not work in some scenarios, well, hopefully, okay, I guess they're talking about the pricing here. All right. All right. Yeah, that's Jim. There it is. Ken has laid it out for you. So take a look at that or copy and paste it and go upgrade your version of LightWave now. And it's just going to benefit you to stay current, because oftentimes software users just don't stay current because they're happy with what they have. They don't want to change their plugins. They're afraid of what the new releases are going to do, but this is going to be something well worth upgrading. All right, so yeah, so once again, go to this HDRI Haven. This is just absolutely great. This is all free. If we go to the gallery here, you can see what people are doing with these HDRI images. I know I've been using them, and this is just great. You know, before, back in the day, we had to create our own HDR images. Remember, back in the day, we had to use that spherical stainless steel ball or mirrored ball, and you would photograph the the surrounding landscape in a mirrored ball, and then use Photoshop to retouch you out of the sphere, and then use that as a 360 degree panoramic image. That's pretty funny. Yeah, so that's what we used to do. Yeah, this is some nice stuff on here. Really nice stuff on here. All right, so for LightWave 3D, I think we have a gallery. Someone mentioned that in the LightWave site they have it's some nice stuff on this gallery. Look at this. All right, let's click on this one here. Yeah, nice. All right, yeah, nice stuff on here. I'm liking it. That would be a tough one to 3D print, huh? Nice work. Okay, yeah. Really nice stuff on here. So yeah, come and check this out on your own time. And then make sure you go in and get your stuff, get your software upgraded. It looks like the new company that's bought LightWave or New Tech, VizRD, I can't even talk today, is really taking this seriously. It really seriously. Yeah, VizRT. I can't even talk. I haven't had any lunch yet. So all right. Enough of me talking. Let's get over here to David Glenn, who's been so patiently waiting and showing his screen. So David, I'm going to maximize your screen. And David, why don't you share with everybody who you are and what you do as an artist in LightWave, and what you're going to share with us today. And I'm not.
Hello?
Oh, good. There you are.
Can you hear me? Is my volume okay?
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Okay. I'll just start into this. My name's David Glenn. A lot of you probably haven't heard to me unless you went to the LA Lightwave Users Group meetings, which where I met Steven. I've been a computer graphics I'm a computer graphics programmer. I've been doing that for over 25 years, and mostly for the Department of Defense. I currently work at a company called Jacobs Engineering, which is primarily it's a contracting company. It works all over the world, but they also are involved in the Defense Department. The project that I'm currently associated with is this thing called the Joint Debriefing System, which is like a 3D system that is used by naval aviators in post-debrief. That's about as deep as I could probably get into that. But on my spare time, as part of my job, I also have to do some content creation. In fact, I do all the content creation for not only my projects, but for a couple others. And so I do get involved developing models. And one of the things that they got me interested in early was developing gaming, using gaming engines, and which I started off as part of my job and kind of drove into my hobby. And what you're looking at here is basically one of my hobbies. It's, or at least the start of it, it's a maze game. It's called Battle at Quest By. It's based on a show
show called Star versus the Forces of Evil. I should emphasize, I'm not associated with Disney that owns the property, but I know the producer, and the company kind of gave me said to me, it says, "Hey, if it's a fan game, which is what they refer to as a game made by fans, I could go ahead and use their stuff, and everything I generate for this game in particular here is all based on is all stuff that I created, which is very important. And anyway, getting on to the game, right here, what you're looking at right now is my layout of the game. I got some basic elements here. This is the Quest Buy logo over here. There's a tower. There's these little objects over here that make up the maze. They're basically shelving units. Quest Buy is this inner dimension that in the show that the two principals characters go into sometimes and to find things that they can find nowhere else, and hence there's like 3 or 4 episodes that are involved in that. Anyway, moving on here, I'm going to go ahead and give you kind of a preview of the game as it stands so far. One of the things you'll notice is when I start this thing up is that there'll be this character over there. Some of them who've ever messed around with Unity will probably recognize this character as Unity-chan. Unity-chan was a kind of a plug-in example character created by Unity of Japan for the purpose of giving people kind of guidance in how to do character development for a game in Unity. And so go ahead and we'll start getting up. And get my controller and...
Love the hair.
Yeah. Let's see if I got it. Oh, yeah. Let's see. There's Unity-chan. Bring him up there so you can see her face. Because the majority of the time in the game, you're looking at her back. Anyway, I'm going through the maze. This is the maze that I made up. And normally, at certain points, there would be monsters in the game that would appear. And I've added all these different shelvings. And part of it is basically to add an element of confusion. You kind of want to do that in a maze game. Over in here, right here is where the main character confronts a monster. I don't have that in right now because this is like I'm barely a week into this game, developing this game. And that's the goal. And, oops, there went my control. And so anyway, I'm kind of curious about how LightWave fits into the scheme of things. And okay. All the assets that you are looking at right here, with the exception of the Unity-chan, were created using LightWave.
Okay.
And I'll bring in. This is, by the way. Let's see if I can bring it in. There we go. This is I'm still working in 2019 one. It's where I develop all these, and these are very, compared to what I usually do, these are very simple shapes. They're all textured. They're all UV textured. Let's see if I bring in. Where's the UV stuff?
Yeah, it goes straight down to the bottom. There you go.
UV texture. And I'll probably have to move this thing aside and go over into power.
There we go. Well, that's not. That doesn't
Well,
look like
that's
it.
the windows.
That's the windows. One
That's
of
the
the
window texture.
right. One of the other ones.
Let's see. We got several entire window. Oh, there. Yeah, that's the that's the tower window base. And then let's see. There's another one I wanted to bring up. UV walls. And there's the image for the UV walls. It includes everything, including the bricks that are in there. It's basically it. One of the more interesting things about this, let's see, I got, here's, I also got shelving. I got the Quest Buy banner, which is, it says Quest Buy. It's from the show. Let's see, I got, showed you the shelves, and here's the rounds. The rounds are sort of like fillers. We're using the shelving to basically build a maze. And in some cases, you need a round object in order to act as a filler because you don't want to, for the player to get a preview of what's around the corner, and particularly if there's a monster there. You want to keep that, as much of a surprise as you can. So sometimes you have to fill it in with things, and these are one of the rounders that I have. But what I'm going to concentrate for this talk right now is to go over to the shelving unit. And the reason why I'm doing that is I wanted to point out the simplicity of not only of the shelving unit. When you look at it from in the game, bring this up again, and you notice I have one shelving unit. I have at least 3 right now UV textures. I'm working on more of them, but I have but basically I'm reusing the same object over and over again. And what I do is after I make the UV texture and I use substance to build that, is I will bring it up. Substance has this wonderful thing that you can go, from substance direct over to Photoshop. And this is where I build the majority of the different types of shelves. I have 3 or 4 different types of shelves here. I have this is shelf A, set A. This is shelf set C. And B is it's basically empty shelves. I figured in a quarantine they would have to have some empty shelves over here. Here's the beginnings of what I'm working on for the D shelf. Is I got these little characters based in here. This is basically the character that I'm working with. He is Baby Marco with the wheels for hands. There's an episode in the show where they're in this place in Quest Spy that they can imagine anything they want and it will appear. And one of the main characters, her name's Jana, comes up and says, "Oh, I can do that." And she thinks really hard and pops up this character here. He comes up and says, "Hi, I'm Baby Marco, and I have wheels for hands." And he starts spewing off, racing off into the off into the wild blue yonder. And I thought that was particularly so. I thought, well, I have to make that up for a shelf item, because Quest Buy says it has everything. I also did the same for Shelf C. I added TP because somebody commented, well, Quest Buy is supposed to have everything. Do they have TP? And so I put DP in there. And so that's basically it. And basically, for whatever I need, I have, I save it up as a PNG file, and I just, basically whatever I need, I can throw it up in here. Like, there, where is it? Oh, there's a Windows base. Base color. Ah, okay. Yeah, it was here. Power walls, power blocks, no textures. I guess that's it. Bell Safe Stream. And if I wanted to, I could go in here and let's go into select movie map, and it appears there. And if I wanted to change this for like next one, I suppose all I have to do is just go to Surface Editor and go into the. And by the way, I use the standard. I use the standard material. Oh, and it's very important in Unity that you have to have material. I'll kind of go into the genesis of that in a second. Let's see. Flags, rounds, power. That's fine. There we go. Yeah. If I wanted to change this to something else, I just go over to the image here and load something new, like let's see, layout, shelving in it. Let's bring. I think that's different.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Bring that in. And of course, instantaneously, I've changed it up in here. And you can see that I've changed the shelving in it. So now C has a skin. Now, and as far as saving this to be used in LightWave, that's easy. I just do save, export, and FBX, and then of course I make sure I click Unity mode, smooth and go group, and I use scale scene. Now I don't necessarily have an idea of what scale that I have going to create this object that is going to be useful. I kind of scaled everything to be around the same to be relative to Unity Chan. As an example, I got an infinite terrain base that I've created, and which was created in Unity. And so what I did is I bring the model in, I kind of scale it to what it's normal. I go back to here and I factor it in right here, and that's guarantees that when I drag a model, that no matter what, I'm going in and making sure that the model will appear consistently. I don't have to scale it in Unity. It's already scaled here. So I'm going to go out of this, back into Unity. I want to explain one little thing that I've discovered as far as creating. Yeah, I do have file open here, and I'm going to bring that over here. I'll go here to the shelving unit. And you notice that right over here I have my shelving units. I have one called Unit A, Shelf Unit A, Shelf Unit B, and Shelf Unit C. All I have to do when I create it is, grab this and just drag it over here, and it will instantly populate my game asset area with that object. What it won't do, and what I have to occasionally go do, is in addition to that, because you expand some of these things, and you see that there's a this is the material. This is the material editor for the. In this case, it's I think it's unit unit C. Now there's an empty mesh, which it uses. It's basically the mesh that this is wrapped around. And you can notice that there's, UV textures right there. The UV texture, and it's not in what you saved, in what is saved here as a unit. No, you have to add it to here. This is the texture for C, and I had to literally copy that over there. I had to drag and drop it from here. This is the UV texture right here, UV texture here, and that's about the only way that I haven't quite figured out yet how to incorporate that as a complete unit. It's one of the things I'm learning about. If anybody knows about it, I'd be happy to know. So that is about the only caveat I've had is in terms of dealing with adding gaming assets and adding a gaming asset. And let's see, I'll do one right here and now, because just for those who are curious, see, the last one I did was B, so I think I'm going to go over here and place C into there, and I'm going to go over here, and you can see it's already placed, and all I have to do is grab it, and move it into the spot, like so. And I'll select it again, and I want to go over here, and there's two very important things I want to make sure about. First of all is the Y direction. Everything has to be set at 0. I'll do here. 0. And the other thing is if I rotate, if I happen to rotate this object, if you do it from here, as some people have the tendency to do, you notice that the rotation here and here gets skewed. Well, I want to keep this object flat, so what I'll do is I'll go back here and go 0, 0. So I'm only turning it on the y-axis. That's that's the axis pointing into your face in this particular case. Also, I'm off 0 again, so I have to go back here and hit that. And other than that, it's pretty straightforward. And you just do that one brick at a time that you're building, going through here and building this maze. And I went through this, the first thing I did when I even thought about this thing is I came through and wrote a plan. I wish I had a picture of the plan. I could show it to you. But unfortunately, I don't. But I have to go over here to one of the things I have to do is, and I'll kind of show you why, is when you go over here, I'll bring up Unity-chan. Unity-chan's right now, she's staring at the object that I just placed. It's right there. Right now, she can walk through the object. We don't want that to happen. So one of the things you got to be careful about, one of the things you got to be sure about, is you go into here, you go to the empty mesh, and you want to go in here and add a component, and one of the things you want to add is physics box collider. And what that does is it adds a collider object, so when you go back into the game, and if Unity bumps into that, she bounces off the collider. And that's very important if you want to do that in a maze game, because you don't want her to run through walls. And you want to make sure that all the objects are completely flat to the terrain, which is the block floor that the floor that she's walking on. If you don't, and maybe I can find a little thing, you'll have little mistakes like that. I gotta fix that. But normally, sometimes, and I don't know if there's anything in here that I could do. And this is the reason why I have Unity-chan in here, is to test the walls. I want to make sure that she can't go through the walls. And I think it's in here. Oops, she went through. And sometimes when I will try to walk back, and right now I'm in a dead space, where nobody's supposed to be. And she's stuck. Oh, she's not. Darn it! I'm just gonna try to have her walk through the floor. But she can actually, if you get like something that's slightly misaligned and the floor is not flat, but I guess I've been very good about that. She will actually walk down through the floor, and in Unity, if you go below the terrain somehow, there's nothing below you. You will keep falling forever. And of course, you don't want, in a game, you don't want that to happen. So anyway,
pretty cool.
Sadly, that's about all I have.
All right, pretty cool. Thank you so very much. It's just about that time. That was great. That was great. Let me come up here.
And when this is more done and I have more elements into the game and stuff, and I know I'm going to be using LightWave to develop that stuff, and even going into 2020 and trying some of the elements based on that. And hopefully I'm going to do more complicated elements in the game. And if you want me to show up sometime
Yes,
and
definitely.
show that stuff,
In fact,
show that off to you.
and
And if any of you guys out there have any ideas of what I could, do or fix or, refine my pipeline, so to speak, in this, please speak up. Don't be a stranger. Don't be afraid to, to speak out.
So
Bernie
Bean has a question real quick, and the question is: can you export animated objects from LightWave into Unity, like floating ghosts?
You can animate. You can bring an animated object, and I'm sure there's got to be a way to, including including creating an animation. And I've seen it done. There was somebody at the LA users group that actually did that.
Okay. They also want you to type in your contact information into the Twitch chat box there.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, do that now. Okay, good. So do me a favor and stop sharing your screen, and thank you very much. That was great. Okay, we're just about done here. Someone contacted me and asked me to do a little bit of a demo for them. I'm not sure if we'll have time. Let me take a look at it here. I'm going to bring up my Adobe. There we go, bridge screen here, and let me go to the LightWave users group. And he sent me a photo and asked me how would I be happy if I would demo how I would approach modeling this particular thing. And it's a controller switch. That is, let me go to the images folder. There we go. All right. So something like this. So my thought was to share that today, but I think we're going to be a little bit out of time, and I might like to tackle this for next Sunday. What I'll do is I'll plan to come on to be the first presenter next Sunday, and then tackle this idea, because these are little industrial little parts that you thought, well, how can I model this in LightWave? This might be a nice little demo, little modeling demo to share with everybody next week. So I apologize that I couldn't get into it today. We had a lot of presenters come on. That's what happens during the roundtable discussion, right? These things, it's just you get people coming on wanting to share, and the LightWave group has always been, or the family, I should say, LightWave family has always been a group of people who just love to share. All right, it's absolutely to share. Now we have a giveaway today. I want to spend the last 10 minutes of our time here. We're going to give away the Creative Cloud. Now let's see. Mandala has, let's see, Virgin Pi. This that's the video of the demo. Okay, that's Kim responding to people here. So Mandala says Liberty 3D caught up with back scroll. Sorry to hear about your back. Okay, he's talking to Kelly, and Kelly, I'm glad to see you here. Hopefully you'll feel better soon, and we'll get you back on board here doing presentations. And let's see, okay, everybody's talking to Kelly. All right now. So what we do at the end of each meeting is we do a Creative Cloud giveaway. So if you have won a 1-year subscription to the Creative Cloud, within the past year, between the time you won it and within a year, you can't win again. But because I want to spread the wealth, so what you're going to do is I'm going to have you type in the number in the chat box. Now I've already written down the number that I'm going to use, and everybody type in the number in the chat box, and I'm going to make my screen really large so that you guys can easily see the number on the sheet here. So everybody's typing in now. Cool. All right, looking good. 2020. All right, let me go take a look at these. So, all right, so I'm gonna give you guys another minute. Finish typing in. Yeah, we had over 64 to 70 people today. It's great. And we're building up our numbers here. I'm just discovering the more you stream, the more I stream, the bigger the numbers get. Some of these artists, they're streaming like every day, so they have these numbers like 200 or 300 people watching their streams, or more actually, a lot more. Okay, so. All right, stop. Okay, I'll give you 20 more seconds, and then we're gonna stop typing. All right, so then I'm gonna go look at the numbers, and everybody sees the numbers with me here. And if I go to the top, all right, good. So the winner, and you're gonna have to give me your email address. I'm gonna type in my email address right now, so that whoever wins, email me. So it's a Steve at chromeillusion.com. There we go. All right, so that's my email address. So the winner is going to be LG Twitched. LG Twitch, which is 96. My number is 99. All right. So LG Twitched, congratulations. And you have won a GG at LG Twitched. Okay. All right. Is that your email address? Or is somebody else just goofing around? LG Twitched. So email me your email address. Twitch also has the whisper feature to communicate. That way you can submit stuff without it being public in the chat. Oh, I can see. I guess Ken's talking to everybody online. Got it. Mandala, you should just roll 2D. You know what? There was a program that integrates with Firefox that would actually do the picking for you. But it stopped working for some reason. I'll have to go find another one. All right, so once again, LG Twitch, I think it was. Let's go 99. Go find his number up here. 96. There we go. Okay, so LG Twitch, give me your email address, and or email me directly, and I'll send you the code for the 1-year subscription to Creative Cloud. Now that means you get everything. Okay, your Twitch is lagging. Hey, don't blame it on Twitch. Maybe those fingers are lagging there. So yeah, email me. You have my email address, right? I'm going to type it in again. And let's see. Did I copy it? No, I didn't copy it. I hate it when I do that. I hate it. All right, let me go get my email address up here again. I'm going to copy it now. I was copying it. Let's go grab it again. There it is. Okay, I'm going to type it in here. And you have my email address once again. Just put it in. All right. That's it, everybody. So let's plan to get together next Sunday. And if anybody wants to present, come on. You Just come on and present. This is fun. Thank you, David and David. Let's see if these guys are still on. They might be still on here. Let me go to my. Yep, Dave Gifford is there. Thank you so much. It's great. And Lino.
My pleasure.
Yeah, Lino, thank you. And the other David, thank you. Thank you. This is great. And then I'll see about setting up a LightWave 2020, what's new in 2020 presentation. I'll chat with Ken and see what's conducive for him in terms of the timing on it. Because I think that will be very important. And then and again, if Ken comes on, I'll split the work with him. So I'll do half, he can do the other half. Make it pretty simple. All right, Lino, thank you. Okay, Lino, then we've got a chat. So this is what I need you to do. Send me your email address. Here's my email address. Send me your email address and your Skype handle if you have a Skype handle, or we can. Because I want to chat with you in person. Okay. Then thank you, Sign Lab number 1. You're welcome. Thank you, everyone. So Lino Grant's on Facebook. Are we friends on Facebook? Let me go check real quick. Oh, let's go grab this out. Pull it out. Thank you. Let's see. Lino, let's see if you're there. Lino Grande, yes, you are. You are there. So that means we can do a Facebook Messenger chat. All right. I'll ring in right after we're done. Does it show that you're there? I think we are friends, right? Let's see. Yeah, we're friends. Yeah, we're friends. We have 127 mutual friends as well. So, great. Thank you so much, everybody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop Twitch now. Now, I have recorded all this. And I will have that recording uploaded right after we're done, okay? Okay, goodbye, everybody. Yes, goodbye. You're most welcome, JS1000. And everybody, definitely get your copy of 2020. And we can start flying creatively here. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you soon. And Lino, I'm going to call you through Facebook Messenger as well. All right. Thanks, guys.